Yep.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm here joined by Kevin Mitchell, former super featherweight and lightweight British champion. How are you doing today, Kevin? You good?
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much. Very well, thanks.
Thank you for coming on. So what I wanted to talk to you was really not just you as a British boxer from the East End and your
Yep.
career and your life, but what you've accomplished now with Mitchell's Gym and what you're creating in the area for young amateur fighters and for prospects that you are building up and that you are helping to really become established fighters in the UK. So talk to me, obviously, post your boxing career. Obviously, you've had a great career at super featherweight, at lightweight in the UK, and just talk us through how it all came to happen that now you are basically a boxing manager and you're running your own boxing gym.
Basically, it started off, I was in the gym with Tony Sims. And obviously, back in the day, like we used to all the boxers from my generation, like Ricky Hatton, Joe Kawasaki, are good friends of mine. We used to booze hard and booze heavy, I suppose, through the stress and pressure of being boxers and that, and being very well known. We'd go out partying and booze hard.
Yeah.
So to keep me at the end of my career, I ended up back with Tony Sims, and to keep me out of the pubs and to keep me focused, he'd go away on holiday, and he'd give me the gym to run. So then I'd have reason and structure. Little did I know he was planting the seed, and basically I ended up falling in love with coaching as well as being a fighter at that time. So the last 2 years of my career, I was coaching in the gym. So it just went from there. I started training amateur fighters like Louis Lim, who joined Repton. He won the ABAs with me and the Tri Nations. Yeah, so things like that really. It's just like
You,
coaching amateurs, bringing them through, training pros and stuff.
you yourself have had a long career in boxing as an amateur. You were ABA's first as well before you moved on to becoming a pro. So do you feel that you can really resonate with those fighters because you were there?
I can relate to them in a lot of ways, like so many ways, like so many different ways and avenues I can relate to them. Like I can teach them what to be doing outside the ring. Don't do what I did. What they shouldn't be doing. What they should be doing. And like new methods moving forward for new training, new coaching, and that type of thing. Um,
Do you think as a young fighter, when you were up and coming, it was
yeah.
overwhelming the pressure, like the
Well, was it?
fame and being well known? Like obviously when you would go to a West Ham match, right, everyone would know
Yeah.
you, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
And do
you
you
get
think
mobbed. Yeah, you get mobbed all over East London, all over London.
was that a lot of pressure, like being really well known in East End, Essex, wherever you went out and about, people would like recognize and know you. Was it a lot
Yeah,
as a young man to sort of take on board?
I can remember having a conversation with Anthony Joshua, and he said to me when he was just in the Olympics, just going through the Olympics, and I was up down on Sheffield sparring. I was getting ready for around about one of my world title eliminators, and I said to him, "Fame." I said, "Through being famous," I said, "I ate the booze heavy." So he said, "How would you suggest I do it?" I said, "Well, don't bloody booze." I said,
Mm.
"You have to deal with it in other ways." I said, "But you can't do what we did," I said, "because it's a dying trick. Like you can't be doing that no more, sort of thing." So I said to him, "There'll be a day comes, AJ, where you can't go anywhere. Everyone knows you in the restaurant, cafes,
Yeah.
people's bars, worldwide." I said, "Anywhere you go, if you think you're on your own, you're left alone, you're with your family." I said, "Then one person asks for a photo. Before, and the whole
Yeah.
room asks for photos." I said, "And it's quite a lot of pressure when you're a kid of 18 dealing with that, and you're like 19, you've got a new family,
Mm.
you've got a new girlfriend, a new relationship. It's quite a lot to deal with." But through my experiences in life and where I've been with things like that, I can guide kids away from that type of thing
Yeah.
and help them what they should be doing. Yeah,
I've got some just written down over here. We've got like a few of your fights when you was at lightweight with obviously Michael Castillas, but an interesting one here was Bradis Prescott that I wanted to bring up
yeah,
because obviously you fought him in 2009 and in 2008 he'd knocked out Amir Khan in the
yeah.
first round, I believe. What was that like when you knew that he was an Olympic champion? I know you just mentioned Anthony Joshua there. What was that like when you knew that Amir Khan had been knocked out by him and you were getting in there with Braiders and you were in the same division? What was that like for you? Did you feel the pressure and the hype from the British public?
I remember, I'll never forget it. I was working nights on the underground. I had a massive tax bill that I couldn't afford to pay, and I boxed that fight for less than the tax bill I had. I went
In
back to working.
2009?
I went back working on the underground on the Monday, and
Really?
Yeah, it's a true story. It's a truth, very truth. Yes, I like what I learned from my pro career and my managers and that. I got took advantage of. I feel like with managers and that. So I have learned from it and what I'm doing now with my own fighters and looking on guide them properly. But yeah, like yeah, because yeah, and I remember never forgetting going back to work on the Monday and guys at work going to me, "What are you doing back at work?" I said because I still owe more money on the tax bill. I'm still
Wow.
have to pay my mortgage, pay my bills, and that's how it was for me. Through being inexperienced in negotiating as a kid, and even as a young man, all the way through my career, really, I didn't get what I should have got out of the game financially. But
Yeah.
what I did get out of the game, which was priceless, was my experience. And my
Mm.
experience is going to take me through for the rest of my life. And the up and coming kids from the East End, from Essex, it'll bring them through as well.
It's really interesting because you were both with Frank Warren. Why did the fight as an all British fight? Why did that fight never happen between you and Khan? Because that could have been a great
I
one.
remember being a kid. I signed the contract, and it was the money was crap, terrible. But I had no leg to stand on. I was being managed by them and promoted by them, and so it was. Yeah, again, I think I said yes to the first fight, and then the second time when he went stateside, I
Yeah.
just see a massive difference in his strength, his resilience. He
Also,
got a lot bigger, stronger.
he'd moved up to light welterweight, hadn't he? And gone to the
Yeah, yeah,
US,
and
hadn't
he
he? Yeah.
changed a lot. He changed a lot in the space of a year, and then they asked me to fight him. And I thought it makes no sense for me to fight him now. I'm not getting paid a lot of money for it anyway,
Yeah.
and I'm a lot smaller than him. I don't need that
You were
fight.
naturally 135 where he was 140, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah,
When he lost the
we went
weight.
up to when they asked me for the next one. I said no, but we was
Yeah.
on a collision course. There was like
It
there
would. I
was
tell you what, it would have been. It would have been a nice British fight, like a
yeah, massive.
domestic
Yeah,
fight.
I done loads of British domestic fights. I fought Ricky Burns for the world title.
Well, that
I
was
fought
the Ricky Burns one. Absolutely. This is what I'm
I
saying. I was
fought
going through your list, and
I
you've
fought
got a great
John
accolade here.
Murray. I'd had 15 months out of the ring. I become well between people don't know much, but I become an alcoholic back then, and I boozed every. I was doing AA meetings, and I took 15 months out of the ring. Come back and fought the ranked number one in the world, John Murray, for a world
Yeah.
title eliminator. I knocked him out. So I've done all the big domestic catches. I never ducked no one. I wouldn't have ducked him here if he would have got so big. If he'd have stayed the same sort of size as me, I wouldn't have ducked him.
Mm. But I mean, like you said, you scaled. You got the IBO Intercontinental title at lightweight, but you almost scaled, and you were there with the title fights. But do you think when you were going through certain parts of, I don't want to say depression, but when you were going through certain parts of
Yeah, no,
alcohol,
it was depression. Like back then, depression wasn't even really spoken
it wasn't
about, spoken
spoken
of.
about? Yeah.
And
So
even
do you
like
think
even down
internally
to like
dealing with that?
Ricky Hatton passed away, didn't it? And like
Yeah, of
we all boozed Devi from the highs and lows of the careers. But like,
course.
speaking to his family members and that, I'm very close to Ricky. I love Ricky. He was like a hero of mine. And then I've become friends with him as I got older, obviously. But like, there's so many when you're a boxer, so many ups and downs. But when you're boozing with that lifestyle, it's so volatile. The lifestyle's up and down. But I think fighters this day and age, where they live very clean, they live healthy lives. It's a lot different now for the fighters now. I think they're living a lot cleaner lives now. The depression isn't as bad now either. I don't think drinking with boxing works. It don't work.
I think you're completely right, and there's a lot of fight. I mean, you mentioned Anthony Joshua there when you gave advice to him after the 2012 Olympics, and obviously you see how he was as a young fighter coming through, and then how he changed his life personally, like converting to Islam, like you said, a non-drinker essentially, because booze and boxing doesn't go. You're right. You
Doesn't
can't,
make boxing
in
sport
regards to
doesn't it?
concentration, brain coordination, balance,
Yeah.
equilibrium, being in the gym, waking up early, going and doing road work. If you're out drinking, it makes it impossible, doesn't it?
Most definitely. I think I was like one of the last of the old school fighters, the old throwbacks who used to get party, booze heavy, and
Yeah.
train. Well, I was the last of them. But AJ, I think I don't know how AJ's getting. I've not spoken to him now for a while. I hope he's okay in that. But yeah, I think I can imagine. But last time I spoke to him was we spoke a bit about mental health and that. And
Mm.
I hope he's okay now. Do you know what I mean? But I imagine he's not.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, he's gone through quite a lot recently, within the last month, losing two of his close friends
Yeah,
in this camp. But
and
yeah,
they won
fingers
against
crossed.
me. Yeah,
I know Eddie's in talks with him, and he seems to be coming with a positive mindset, which is positive and good to see. Obviously, we want to see him in good spirits as a British heavyweight champ that we all admire. So I want to just move on now because we discussed you,
yeah,
we've discussed other British fighters as well, to Mitchell's gym. Okay, now this
yeah.
is your gym that you've created, and you're really putting your heart and soul into it. Is it in the kind of groundwork right now? I can see there's a lot of construction, a lot of building work going on with it. What is the process? When is it going to be fully open?
So Mitchell's Boxing Gym is the business brand, the business part of it, where it be sports side of it, memberships, classes, people can do one-to-ones out there, and that type of thing. And then I'm going to have Upminster's Amateur Boxing Club. It'll be Upminster's first ever amateur boxing club. So, like, what I'll do is from grassroots boxing, I'll be bringing them through from grassroots, bringing them through, turning them professional, managing them, looking after them, and keeping them safe all the way through their career. Because basically, when I was a kid, an amateur coach couldn't train professionals.
Mm.
But now it's allowed. Pro-am's allowed now. So what I'll be doing is bringing them through from grassroots to professionals, bringing them through from babies, juniors, or schoolboys, juniors, then seniors, then turn them professional. Yeah.
So are we looking at starting them off, obviously getting them in the gym, training them for ABAs? Are you looking to train them for GB Olympics as well then?
That's what I want. GB Olympics. I'll be bringing.
Yeah.
That's the way forward from you. Bring GB
Yeah.
Olympics, best experience for them, which I've done with Fred Pullen, and Fred Pullen's looking on turning professional now as well. He's after he's won the ABAs. My
Yeah.
son also was on England. They're trying to get their spots in, but it's a very hard. It's hard these days getting in. There's so many kids getting in position, and sometimes your face don't fit. The weight ain't right for you, and so it's not an easy. It's not an easy thing to do and get on GB. But
What
but
if
my kids.
you don't join the Olympic team? Do you still, and you're a really good amateur, do you still have the prospect to turn pro? Like what's the road for people
Now,
that might
what
not
I'd
get on the Olympic team?
personally with my fighters, what I'd do with them if they don't get on Team GB, but if they can get a slot on England and gain a little bit of experience, England away, fighting internationally away with other seniors, that's gold dust. So I'd advise my fighters to do that for a couple of years, perhaps 21, 22. Fred Plum's 22 tomorrow. Very good age where they mature in their mind, mature physically, and then you start the process of them turning professional.
What's a good number of amateur fights before you look to turn them pro?
I had 50 amateurs, 145 with about 31 knockouts as an amateur. I personally think that my son's gone over. I think my son's turned pro and he's had 44. Depends what sort of sparring you've had,
And
what
Connor,
sort of
Connor's 21, isn't he?
you're 21
21,
couple
yeah.
of days ago, yeah. Fred Pullen's 22 tomorrow. So depending what sort of sparring you've had, like, and what sort of work you've had, like, I was chatting to I've got a young fighter in the gym with me now. He's 18. And I had an inspiring Fred Pullen today. I said, as I do with Fred, I take Fred out of his comfort zones and put him in hard spars. I said, it helps him climb the ladder. That's what I call climbing the ladder. I said, as I'm doing a review now, as you're 18, you're going into senior ABAs, I'm putting you in hard spars now. So when time the ABA comes around, you'll be ready for them.
Right,
It's like
excellent.
that type of thing, yeah.
And talk to me about next month. You've got York Hall. You've got your fighters lined up for this. We've got Sonny
Yeah.
Hardy on the main card. Talk me through the process of setting up your fighters to now, obviously East End as well. York Hall, definitive place in Bethnal Green for up and coming British fighters and young fighters that want to be put in the spotlight. Box Nation is there obviously on Saturday. So talk to me about this setup because this is big for these fighters, isn't it? To be there, to debut there, or to fight there.
Yeah, most definitely. So Sonny Hardy has had 10-0 now. He's going for his 11th fight. Um, 2 fights ago, he boxed a very good unbeaten Albanian where he was in a 50-50 fight. But at the minute, he's buying and selling tickets. So that's how he pays his way in the sport. He's not on a wage yet. He's not on
Right,
a TV contract. So basically, he's buying and selling tickets. So that's how he earns his money.
right,
But
okay,
he's a West Ham boxer through up with the West Ham connection. He
yeah.
sells a lot of tickets. He gets a good following. So he's 10-0 now. He's going in for his 11th pro fight. He's selling tickets to obviously to pay his way.
Mm,
Um, Basically, yeah, trying to build him up. I want to give him. I'd like to see him have 2 or 3 more 8 rounders,
yeah,
and then move him into like a title eliminator. So
right.
then then get him into a title eliminator where he gets a title shot on a TV show.
Okay. So when they're on the 8 rounders at the minute, do they then move into the 10 rounds? Is it for their next fights when they are going for a title?
Well, it might be an eliminator, yeah. So he might get a 10 round eliminator for that. So if he wins the eliminator and he gets a title shot, gets a
Yeah.
title shot on a TV show or something like that, yeah.
Nice. Okay. And talk me through his son. Obviously, he's 21, Connor. He's just turned 21. Talk me through his process in his boxing journey.
Basically, he's boxed all his life. He's been around like watching Billy Joe when he was a baby. So that's why, hence why he's a southpaw. Um, him as a baby, because where I was a pro boxer, he spent a lot of time with me as a baby because obviously his mum went to work. I'd drive him to the gym, put his pram at the gym, and he'd watch everyone. He'd watch in the East End, like in the old TKO gym, Johnny M's
Yeah.
gym. He'd watch us all shadow boxing, sparring, pads. He'd have his bot, and he grew up like that as a baby. So basically, he's been wrapped around it all his life. He's had gloves on. He's like Billy Joe was a southpaw. He's a right-handed
Mm.
southpaw, Connor. I'm a left-handed orthodox.
Mm.
So he boxed him both from as a baby in Elm Church and Elm Park Gym where I started off as a kid. Then he come out of there and he went back to football.
Mm.
Then he went back to boxing. I
Yeah.
could just saw at the age of about 13 he had a lot of pressure on him. Obviously he's very talented in that. Him and my son Vincent. Both my
Yeah.
sons are very good boxers. And there was too much pressure on them. So they stopped boxing. But then it was slowly but surely, Connor within about a year took himself back to Dagenham Boxing Club and they'd done a lot of work with Dagenham Boxing Club.
Right.
He was knocking about on the streets a little bit in Rainham and Dagenham, which weren't happy with him because
Mm.
obviously not good things moving about. Like, didn't want him moving like that. So basically, I then took him down to West Ham gym where I said to him, "Listen, boy," I said, "it's an hard gym, very tough
Yeah.
gym." I said, "But Queen rises to the top." I said, "Be prepared to get an iron today, like in sparring. They're going to put you straight in sparring." He went, "Do you reckon, Dad? Do you reckon they put me in?" I said, "Trust me, boy, they're going to put you straight in sparring." Little,
They
I
throw you
said,
in the deep end there, yeah?
yeah, to see if you got a heart and see if you keep coming back.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, right. He kept coming back, and he's gone on and gone on and gone on. One more, one more. He won. I think he won the junior ABAs. He got injured in the second senior ABAs, so he had to pull out for an arm injury. Then we had because he was living with me, moved in with me when he was 15.
Right.
So we had a bit of an art to art because obviously being his dad, I was having to be very hard on him and tough on him,
Mm.
like all dads do when they train their sons. Like I watched like a lot of like British fighters talk about their dads training them. I like a lot. I like Tefima Lopez as well. I like the way he speaks about his dad and passion and that. And how he's
Mm.
emotional and talks about emotions and things. When you're a dad and you're training your sons, you've got to be hard on them. It's called like a bit like tough love. Um, Mickey May is my West Ham coach. He was like that with me. And like you're not aware they even like you as them trainers when you're a kid, but until you go to become a man, you realise they loved you. But they had to be like that with you to bring the toughness out in you.
Do you think that is what brings the discipline as well to the fighter that makes them think, right, obviously I'm admired, like you said, they're very fond of me, but I'm getting treated a certain way. Is that what encourages the discipline and for them to train at their hardest?
Yeah, and they've got to work. They've got to work hard. There's no way out of it. They've got to
Mm.
understand. Like, there's no. I have a jokey time and play time with the boys and that mess about with them. But when it's serious, they can see my voice tone changes, my face changes. It's got to be on proper.
I
And
think Bill Haney is a bit like that with Devin Haney, right?
yeah, you've got to be like that. Yeah, I watch Bill Wayne. I watch how he does things. I like
Yeah,
the way he does things. Bill Wayne.
a little bit like that. Now, you
Yeah,
just mentioned Teofimo Lopez. Obviously,
yeah.
a lot of the press have flown out to New York. We've got Ring Magazine Awards this week with Turkey Al Sheikh, and we've got Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson, two of
Yeah,
the
I'm a
best
massive
lightweights in
fan
the
of
division.
big fan of Tefima Lopez. I'd like to have fought him as a kid. If I was younger, I'd like to have fought him. Um, I'm a massive fan of Tefima Lopez.
Well,
Massive
let's
fan of
let
his.
let's talk Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez this Saturday. How do you see the fight going? This is a tough. You've got two of the best lightweights in the division.
Yeah,
How
I,
does
I
this how
think
does this go?
without foul, I prefer watching Tefima Lopez all day long. You can never tell me anything different. But I think he's got his work cut out with Shakur Stevens. I think he's got his work cut out with him. I think if I was a betting man, which I ain't, I'd bet Shakur Stevens beats him on points. But
It's
don't
it's
don't
interesting, right?
waft, don't waft, don't waft Tefima Lopez because he's special.
he's got a different level of skill. His counter attack is on another level. His boxing IQ is high, but Shakur Stevenson equally high IQ, very
Yeah, he's
technical.
smart. He don't
He
get involved. He holds you off well.
he
He holds you
uses
well.
a similar complex movement like Terence Crawford. I mean,
Yeah,
they're friends,
he's
they're
got
close.
Crawford. Crawford's that's another one I'm a big fan of. Terence Crawford. I love the way he holds himself. He's a gentleman. He's a great fighter. He respects Ricky Burns, which I really respect how he respects
That
Ricky
was
Burns.
great, yeah, when he came to Scotland and he fought. That was
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah.
He
But he's
says
a
he
great
says to
fighter.
he says to Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, he goes, "That was your best fighter, really." He
One of your
goes,
best fighters. Yeah, well, you think he is. Ricky doesn't care. Don't give a monkeys about it either. But Ricky's one of my good mates. But he's a free-weight world champion. You don't get that. They don't
you
get
know,
given to you.
it's not often seen out of Scotland, right?
No,
Obviously, we have
no.
Josh Taylor who done incredibly well, but Ricky Burns,
He
I
was
think, is
great.
underlooked.
Josh Taylor was a great fighter in his time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. And like these guys, obviously, even yourself, it gives nationwide, it gives a lot of the boxing fans that really root for the sport and we want to see the home fighters. It gives us a real pull in when when we get to see them. I mean, Derek Chisora now fighting hopefully in Wembley against Wilder. That could be a
Well, that's
great fight
crazy.
for us here in
That'd
the
be
UK.
that'd be a good scrap. That will be. It'd be a good. Be a good. I think it'll be a good old dust up. I think that it will be a sort of fight where I think Del Boy's going to go for it as well because I know Del very well.
Mm.
We've grew up with him. We've all grown up together. If I know Del will probably try and knock him out.
Yeah. I mean, I was at the weigh-in here last month when they did their face-off
Yeah,
against each other, and you could see it was done for camera. First, it was done for show, and then you could
yeah,
see Derek was literally like going up
yeah.
to him.
Del don't mess about. Del's on it. But see, I think Gilton Wilder, he's obviously heavy handed, but he's a one trick pony. And I think if you can sort of work him out in there, I think you can find out what he's about. I think Delboy can make him fold.
And just announced today Tyson Fury's return on Netflix against Arslan. What are your thoughts on this?
No,
Straight
I
in, it's going to be on Netflix. April 11th, I think, is the date they've set.
can remember Tyson. I can remember just winning the ABA titles. I was 18, and Tyson Fury shadowboxing in Crystal Palace in the gym, telling us all that he's going to be the world champion. I remember thinking, no way, but he did it, and to see from his belief, it shows you belief is a lot as well. So when you're boxing in this game, self belief is everything, and
But it's
I
really
think
interesting, right? Because what you said about going through alcohol and depression, Tyson is someone that shows that he went through it, mental
yeah, he's
health,
been
and then
through.
he rose above and he came back, didn't he?
Yeah, he rose the boat and come back. Yeah, do you know what? He's done extremely well as well. Another one. People like to bad mouth you when you're doing good or when you're struggling. They jump on you. But
Mm,
he's look what he's done in the sport. AJ, look what they've done. Back in the day, selling at Upton Park was massive, 24,000.
yeah,
That was a big show. They're doing like 80, 90,000 every time. So like,
yeah,
them guys, they're transitioning the sport now. The sport's gone mega. It's gone out of Saudi. It's gone huge. I
mm,
think the only fight I want to see, I don't want to see them two fight. I'm not even bothered about watching them two fight again, but unless they fight each other.
mm.
That'd be the only time I would be interested in watching either one of them fight, AJ and Tyson, is if they fight each other. And I think now, where I've seen Tyson been in trouble a little bit in his last couple of fights, I've seen him hurt. I think it plays big interest because I think AJ's got a good chance as well.
He
Makes it
does,
interesting.
yeah. I think he does.
Makes it very interesting.
I think now at the point in their careers, yeah, AJ certainly does have a good chance. We probably
Yeah.
might have seen Tyson slow down against those two fights against Alexander Usyk.
So Usyk, yeah.
Um, but it's in.
Most
Well, let's see
definitely.
how he does against Arslan. Obviously, Arslan, beat Dave Allen, but
Yeah.
has he got what it takes to beat someone
He's
as
not at that level.
technical as a
He's not
Tyson
level.
Fury?
I think it's just going to be a little one out for Tyson Fury before he fights AJ. I think I don't know this. I don't know this at all. But I think AJ's going to have one go at it, get the ticket, and hit the training camp hard. And I'm not even sure where it's going to be. Whether it's going to be in Saudi or whether be in England. I'd like.
It's got to be at Wembley, right? This has
Yeah,
got to be at
do you know
Wembley.
what? I'd like to see something special made in like a massive park somewhere, like open air,
Mm.
spectacular, something
Yeah,
like crazy.
we've not done that in the UK, have we? Really, we've not done
No,
that.
but it could be
They've done it in
if
Africa
the
and other places.
if the promoters could get something like that going, like something built in something like massive park in London, I
Yeah.
think something spectacular could happen.
We've never done, but it could work. Like they do
Easily could
festivals
work.
in Hyde Park,
Yeah,
Wireless, Finsbury
yeah.
Park. They should do something like that, shouldn't they?
They could do something like that. They could throw a massive thing. I think for a price so big and with such a magnitude, I think they should do something special. Put their money in and deal well and try and get it done.
Well, more you than me, Kevin. Get on the phone to Eddie Hearn and Frank and say, look, try and sort
Get
it
some of it.
out.
Put your hands in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly. Well, great talking to you, Kevin. All the best
And you,
with the amateur gym. I hope it all
yeah,
goes well, and
wicked.
hopefully we see you out here in Dubai soon,
Hopefully
opening a
soon.
gym out here.
I'd love to come out. Do you know what? That's something I'm looking into. I've had a chat with a few of my friends. I'm obviously building my gym here first, but Dubai obviously is a big thing. Even building grassroots in Dubai. 'Cause I believe there'll be amateur boxing, proper amateur boxing clubs in Dubai soon.
Yeah.
So that's something that I could look into. Something I'm looking into anyway. It's something that interests me. It does.
100%. I mean, like you said, it's getting popular over here, Saudi, Dubai. The sport's growing out in the Middle East,
Yeah.
so it could definitely erupt. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm looking at the minute. I'm looking into it. I've had a good chat with a couple of friends of mine. A couple of friends who've got their own businesses and that, and they're
Mm.
up for investing in something. So it's something that we're looking at. Obviously, I've got to get my gym built here first, get that up and running. But it's something I'm interested in.
Okay, brilliant. Well, thanks for your time today, Kev. We'll catch up
Thanks,
soon,
man.
yeah?
Cheers,
Thank you
mate.
very much.
Cheers,
All the
Tom, mate.
best. Take
Tom,
care.
mate.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.